sippers. I hope this goes better than the last live. Okay, I can only be here an hour because I got another live set up for our normal Candace Owens. So this is kind of a piggyback from yesterday. Still haven't heard nothing from them people, have we? Still haven't heard anything from them turning point. We tried to hear a little ruffle under the feathers. Pierce mad cause I guess the media wasn't invited to the party. I don't know. But rumor has it that Erika, she done went on to something else, child. She said, carry on. Carry on, Candace. Hey, Southern Queen. She said, girl, carry on. They been lying to me. So I'm going to let you have it and let you do what you do. Because I don't pull me in it. I don't want nothing to do with whatever they got going on. And rest in peace, Charlie. That don't have nothing to do with me. And that is what it is. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and go in because our regular is scheduled at 8:30. Let's go. Come on, play, baby. So, Candace Owens meeting. Controversy continues. Oh, you moving too fast. You moving too fast. Hold on. She sure look angry, don't she?
In her first podcast episode after what she described as a 4.5-hour conversation with Erika Kirk, conservative podcaster Candace Owens said she still does not believe that the person charged with murder for Charlie Kirk's death is solely responsible. Erika Kirk's efforts to tamp down on speculation about her husband's murder have not appeared to dissuade Owens. Candace Owens, one of the nation's most watched personalities, has seen her prominence grow while boosting conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic tropes about Charlie Kirk's death. Owens said her suspicions about certain employees at Turning Point USA, the conservative organizing group Kirk co-founded and where she once worked, hadn't been assuaged by her meeting with Erika Kirk and other Turning Point staffers. Owens heavily implied that she believes Israel had something to do with Kirk's death. This promoted an unsubstantiated theory that Israeli officials have denied, and that some of her critics say is evidence that she is boosting anti-Semitism. Erika Kirk has not commented on their meeting beyond a post on X, in which she said, a very productive conversation with Owens, and was turning her attention to America Fest, a signature Turning Point event scheduled to feature several top officials in President Donald Trump's administration.
Anti-Semitic Semitism or whatever, Sesame Street, whatever that crap is, that seemed not to even bother Erika. Because I would have thought that would have, been a driving force. But I guess she knows that asking a question does not make you anti-Semitic. Satan. I don't know. Thank you, Naturally Narlins, but I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah. The very productive. So she didn't mind her asking questions, and it did not make her that anti-Semitic. Whatever. That you pro Satan. Go ahead.
Their meeting beyond a post on X, in which she said, a very productive conversation with Owens, and was turning her attention to America Fest, a signature Turning Point event
turning her attention to
President Donald Trump's administration.
Right there. She gave the green light for Candace to carry on, my sister. Carry on. She said she is turning her attention to MEMPHIS. It was very productive. And I'm finna focus on MEMPHIS, and I'm gonna let Candace Owens do what she been doing. Okay. Okay. I mean, huh? All that other bull crap, I don't want no parts of it. Don't be calling me when the real po people, Secret Service, you know, the judge, once these people are out of office, Dan Bongino decide he wants to tell, he gonna be just like Jack Smith is in about a year or so, telling everything. Everything. Yeah, that's who he gonna be. Yeah, give him a year. Yes, sir. He gonna spill his guts. Yeah, from the day he looked at them Epstein files, and they started having the military retract and deactivate and all that other stuff, redact. He gonna be able to, because that's when he initially really, that's when he really quit. That's when he really quit. That's when he really said, oh, hell no. This ain't what I signed up for. And I've been saying this and that and that and this, and that's really what I was believing at that time. So you mean to tell me you really are all up in here like that? For real? And you want me to do what? Oh yeah, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And you causing, this stress is causing havoc in my house. People I know in real life is questioning me as of why I done started being Michael Jackson on the cool and doing this damn moonwalk shit. Yeah. Yeah, yes sir.
Is evidence that she is boosting anti-Semitism. Erika Kirk has not commented on their meeting beyond a post on X in which she said, "A very productive conversation" with Owens, and was turning her attention to America Fest, a signature turning point event scheduled to feature several top officials in President Donald Trump's administration and conservative influencers.
She don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Owens has instead suggested France, Israel, and Egypt might have been involved. That Charlie Kirk was betrayed by people close to him.
Absolutely.
And that state and federal law enforcement are covering up a bigger crime.
Absolutely.
Owens' campaign following Kirk's September 10th assassination has driven deep divisions within the MAGA influencer world. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and comedian Dave Smith have all defended her to some degree, while Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro have both described Owens' actions as evil, and Nick Fuentes has said she's a narcissist hurting America.
I hate it about the last administration. Their insane desire to start pointless wars around the world. Their total unwillingness to protect this country domestically, to protect the people who live here, to protect the territorial integrity of the country, bringing in tens of millions of people illegally, giving them free stuff the second they get here, making a mockery of citizenship. I hated all of that. But the thing I hated most was their total unwillingness to answer any question about why they were doing what they were doing, because it was just too insulting. And every single time I would just feel like raising the middle finger and screaming obscenities, which is not an adult response, I'll concede, but that's how I felt. And I think that's really at the heart of why the Epstein thing is so distressing. I mean, the guy was some weird sex freak who was abusing girls. We knew that. But the fact that the U.S. government, the one that I voted for, refused to take my question seriously and instead said, "Case closed, shut up, conspiracy theorist," was too much for me. And
Absolutely. Case closed, but emails and pictures are still coming out. Y'all, please double tap the face of the phone that you're listening in on. Just like 1, 2. It's free. Don't cost you a thing. It don't cost a thing. Just to double tap. 1, 2. If you're on a computer device, laptop, there's 3 dots at the very top right. They stacked on top of each other. 1, 2, 3. If you hit that, it'll take you straight on over to the like button. Come on, y'all. Bam, bam. Yeah, Tucker, I totally agree. Let's go, partner.
Too much for me.
Too much for me, too.
And
Too much for all of
I
us.
don't think the rest of us should be satisfied with that. And by the way, let me just say really quickly, because I was so mad about it that I think I found out part of what's going on.
Tell us.
I think we are going to find out more. And I think the truth, for whatever it's worth, in case you're interested, is that the DOJ didn't release lots of incriminating sex videos with Epstein and his billionaire pals because they don't have them. They don't have them because when the original search warrant was served 2007, I think, possibly 2006, I think 7, it was basically designed to protect Epstein. The search warrant was written in such a way to make sure that the feds never got their hands on the actually incriminating evidence. It's another way of saying the cover-up has been going on since 2007, almost 20 years. And so the real question is not, was Jeffrey Epstein a weirdo who was abusing girls? Yes, we can answer that. The real question is, why was he doing this, on whose behalf, and where did the money come from? And those are the questions that need to be answered. And I think it's entirely fair to ask them. And it's not adequate to say anyone who asked them is somehow desecrating the memory of little girls who died in Texas. I'm not going to put up with that answer. I don't care who gives that answer. That is not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has...
Well. Listen, y'all. Naturally, Nolans, she said, AunTeaFee, stop talking to them like they're kids. It's the same way on their phone as it is on their computer. They know how to get the likes up. So double tap the face of your phone and get the likes up. She ain't playing with y'all today, and I ain't either. Double tap the face of your phone and get the likes up. Or leave. 12 minutes in. Double tap the face of your phone that you're ear hustling, or leave, please. Do I have to cuss y'all out like them other people do? Do I have to say stuff like get the fuck up out of here? Hit the like button and get the fuck up out of here. Don't come in here unless you're supporting the platform. Double tap the face of your phone, the device that you're ear hustling, or leave. Or hop down and say something smart to me. If you don't like my approach, hop down and give me a comment. Can you do that? Yeah. Say that's ugly. If you don't like it, so I can put you out forever. Seems like that's the only way they understand. Yeah. They cannot stand respect. You got to talk to them ignorant. Talk about their mama and stuff like that. Call them ugly and funky in the face. They can't tap the face of the screen because they ain't got no fingers. You know, stuff like that. Double tap the face of your phone device. I hit the 3 dots at the top. Or leave. Get out. Go play with yourself somewhere. Child, they not even buying that. I can't get these funky face people to get up out of here. What do I have to say to make you leave? Is this some crazy natural knowledge? Where you find these people? These must be your folk. They won't hit the like button and they won't leave. What you hear? Yeah, drop. Let the numbers drop down. What I got? Funky face, funky fingers. Yeah, hell, they coming back. Funky face, funky fingers. Your mama breath stink. Nope, that ain't it either. Lord, you better be glad I'm in the herd.
Tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had
the
largest residential house in Manhattan. Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying.
Nothing.
I spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting U.S. president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person.
Absolutely.
It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interests. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of foreign government?
Hell yeah.
Every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it.
Tell them that it's fake. Tell them that it's the fake Israel. It was lab created. Rothschild created. It's a fraud. They are settlers. They are not the original people. They are fraud.
Blackmail operation on behalf of foreign government. By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes. So I think it's better just to say it right out loud.
Say it loud.
Did this happen? And of course, that question has been asked to the government of Israel, and their answer is, we're not going to tell you. And I think our answer should be, no. As long as we're sending you money, if you were committing crimes on our soil, we have an absolute right to know, did you do this or not? And yet everybody has been so brainwashed into thinking that's somehow an expression of hate or bigotry, when it's not. It's a baseline question that every U.S. citizen has a right to an answer on. What the hell was this? And by the way, if it turns out that it was nothing at all, that somehow Jeffrey Epstein really did earn $165 million giving tax advice to somebody, which is, for the record, a lot more than most people pay their accountants, and that none of this was actually a foreign intel operation, and that there was no blackmail involved, that actually Bill Gates was just hanging on the island because the weather was especially good. No one was videotaped doing anything immoral or illegal, and then that was used against them to get them to obey. If all of that is false, then just tell me how it's false. But don't call me a lunatic. And when Fox News runs a piece, as they did yesterday by Hugh Hewitt, saying that anybody who's got even more questions about Epstein is some kind of nutcase with an unhappy personal life, who's spending too much time on Twitter in the fervid fever swamps of conspiracies, up yours, buddy. Then why don't you answer the question then? Don't let anybody insult you, anybody, and I mean anybody, ever, get away with...
Ever, and I do mean ever. Don't ever let anyone insult you manipulate you by way of insulting you. Don't ever let somebody manipulate you by way of insulting you, trying to belittle your intelligence because you were smart enough to catch their ass lying. I totally agree with him. I totally agree with him. I think that's somewhat why Erika, her little stunt, her little no, stop stunt didn't work. It was a form of manipulation. And Turning Point USA thought that was the only way, the absolute only way to stop Candace Owens for doing what she said she was going to do, and that is find out who unalived her friend. A dear friend. A friend that she loved and trusted. Even through whatever they went through, what appears like being betrayal, because she helped him from the start. Yeah, don't let anyone manipulate you by way of belittling you. Oh, your president do it all the time. And he the dumbest of them all. Yeah, no, it's a no.
Is some kind of nutcase with an unhappy personal life, who's spending too much time on Twitter in the fervid fever swamps of conspiracies. Up yours, buddy. Then why don't you answer the question then? Don't let anybody insult you, anybody, and I mean anybody, ever get away with insulting you instead of answering a legitimate question. Okay? Ever.
Ever.
And by the way, you will hear certain people say, well, that means you hate the person. No, it doesn't.
No.
I've got a bunch of kids. I would never let them get away with that. If I caught one of my kids, smoking weed in the bathroom.
Excuse me.
At my house, I was like, are you smoking weed in the bathroom? Shut up, racist. You hate me. No, you're my child. I don't hate you. Answer the freaking question. Were you smoking weed in the bathroom
Don't
or not?
play with my face.
I'm not the criminal here. You seem to be. So I just think it's really important to get into that headspace. And even now, when people talk about this topic, I can promise you, since I spent all day on the phone yesterday on this topic with informed people, they're like whispering certain words. And I'm like, why are we whispering? Why should I be ashamed as an American about wanting to know what the hell that just was? Why should I be embarrassed? I'm not the bad guy here. Why should I be embarrassed to ask what's in this war for us? We got to go to war. Shut up. You're a bigot if you don't want it. First of all, I'm not a bigot. But second, that's kind of not the point. The point is, what's in it for us? Why is this a good idea? Shut up. And it's exactly the style of argument that I voted against, and I will never accept it. I don't care who does it. I will never accept that. Give me a legitimate answer, a reasonable answer, a sincere answer, a good faith answer. We may disagree.
Right. We may disagree, but don't play in my face. Don't try to insult me. answer the dang question. It's just that simple. What is this one saying? She gave her what?
For more
Legitimacy
on
she
this,
didn't
I'm
have
joined
before.
by spokesperson for Republican Overseas, Errol Markov. Errol, as always, thank you so much for joining me. For more on this, I'm joined by spokesperson for Republican Overseas, Errol Markov. Errol, as always, thank you so much for joining me. I just want to start with Erika Kirk and Candace Owens. So they sat down and spoke for over 4 hours yesterday. What did you make of the meeting and the timing of this get-together just a day before the Turning Point USA conference?
Well, the timing, I think, is what really speaks to me as a former member, as a student member of Turning Point, and somebody who went to Charlie's vigil there. The one absence from my time in the organization, tangentially, and also at the funeral memorial, was Candace Owens. Obviously, she has gone down her own wavelength here, and this is not something that I'm endorsing, but rather just observing. And it's interesting to see Erika Kirk's timing in bringing Candace somewhat back into the fold of Turning Point, at least in a allowable way. I think for most people who aren't heavily invested in the story, they are curious why Erika Kirk wasn't responding to all these kind.
Hey, y'all, come on now. I'm almost 30 minutes in. 141 people, 53 people, 153 with only 23 likes. Please double tap the face of your phone. Get the likes up for me so that I can continue to move forward and we can listen to this. Double tap. If you're listening on your phone, if you're on your computer, there are 3 dots at the top that's stacked on top of each other. Hit those 3 dots. Let's get the likes up. 158 people. 30 likes. Come on, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes near the people that's listening in on the tea. It's hot. AunTeaFee typically always have some hot tea. Hit the like button. Double tap. I'm be here for a little while. Y'all play with the like button with me. I'ma play with the T with you. Let's just be clear.
Very, let's say, avant-garde things Candace Owens was saying. So I think
And it wasn't
my time in the
avant-garde.
organization,
It wasn't
tangentially, and also
one-sided.
at the funeral memorial, was Candace Owens. Obviously, she has
It
gone
wasn't warped.
down her own wavelength here, and this is not something that I'm endorsing, but rather just observing. And it's interesting to see Erika Kirk's timing in bringing Candace somewhat back into the fold of Turning Point, at least in a allowable way. I think for most people who aren't heavily invested in the story, they are curious why Erika Kirk wasn't responding to all these kind of very, let's say, avant-garde things Candace Owens was saying. So I think this meeting has sort of given Candace Owens some legitimacy to continue going on, but it also could be a way to build bridges, because I think also everybody's forgetting here that that is a friend of hers who was murdered. And so...
So let's be clear. That means that there is no, oh, Candace is jealous of Erika, it's my husband and all that type of stuff. So it's none of that. So nobody can say that. That's what they was trying to pitch out before, like it was a jealousy thing.
Way.
Nope. The wife has given the green light. Yeah. No red light. She didn't say stop. She said, I'm going back doing what I was doing. Amherst, the whatever, Amrush, whatever it was. Absolutely. Because there's certain stuff I just can't argue with. She got some tea and some facts that y'all was lying to me. I could not debunk it. So all you people, she's destroying. She's just, nope. Y'all played it too close. Y'all played yourself. Either y'all bring him out of hiding She is going to find everything and everybody who was involved. And I'm not going to stop her. Because I don't want them coming looking at me. Absolutely. That's what's going on. So she gave some form of legitimacy. She gave the green light. She said, I'm not going to be arguing with her. This woman is on track, and somebody is feeding her intel from the feds. Okay? She knows way more than I know. She made me look stupid. Yes, indeed. She made her look stupid. Now clock that T.
I think for most people who aren't heavily invested in the story, they are curious why Erika Kirk wasn't responding to all these kind of very, let's say, avant-garde things Candace Owens was saying. So I think this meeting has sort of given Candace Owens some legitimacy to continue going on.
Absolutely.
But also to be a way to build bridges, because I think also everybody's forgetting here that that is a friend of hers who was murdered. And so, you know, Erika Kirk lost her husband, Candace Owens lost her friend. People who are grieving do bizarre things. The fact that they sat down for 4.5 hours, that's quite a lot of time. What the result of that will be, what that will mean for Turning Point USA and Candace Owens going forward, I can't speak on that. But as a cultural observation, it certainly gives some legitimacy to Candace Owens that was not there prior.
So following that meeting,
Absolutely. It gives legitimacy to Candace Owens. Erika Kirk has co-signed Candace Owens to carry on and handle your business. Whether the crooked friends, quote unquote friends, the him shim Tim and the Bim Shapiro and the funny other looking guy with the big old that's Tim. The other one who was FaceTiming himself, who pronounced Charlie Kirk on a live at the University of Utah. Yeah, all of them folk. The fake pedo preacher McCoy, the son who they can't find him, you know, when he was a kid and all that stupid shit. Yeah, he probably was a groomed little boy. He like boys. He's a him shim. He's a him shim too. Yeah, all of them. The Tyler Boyer who is playing with the money. Yeah, all of them. She has let the dogs loose on y'all. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who Erika Kirk did. Okay. She let the dogs out on y'all. Let's go. Yes, I was barking.
For Turning Point USA and Candace Owens going forward, I can't speak
She
on
let
that,
the
but as a
dogs
cultural
out.
Observation, it certainly gives some legitimacy to Candace Owens that was not there prior.
so following that meeting and speaking, the Turning Point USA lawyer spoke to Candace Owens, and Candace Owens said after that meeting she still doesn't feel like Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. As you said to me, Charlie Kirk was one of her closest friends. You know Charlie Kirk. You worked at Turning Point USA. What do you make of these allegations, and how damaging have they been for Turning Point USA?
Well, they've been very damaging in the sense that this is an organization of good people, God-fearing Christians, and the implication that anybody internally in that organization has been involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk.
They're not God-fearing Christians. They are Christian Zionists. Who are you? Why did you leave? Yeah, they're not God-fearing Christians. They are pro-Israel. They are Christian Zionists. Let's be clear. You're lying. You're manipulating. They are not God-fearing Christians. They are Christian Zionists. They are acting like they are Christians, but they are devil worshipers, and they sacrifice kids and drink their blood.
Organization has been involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the reason why I'm married to my fiance. We met at a Turning Point USA event. I mean, Charlie Kirk is somebody who everybody around him loved. So the idea that he was surrounded by a Judas Iscariot type figure is something that is hard to reconcile without any proof. And I think that's the sort of the elephant in the room here is, where is the proof that this has happened? And is people's negligence proof of willful negligence? You know, oftentimes we can attribute to malice what can often be attributed to apathy. And I think that's one of the sort of ways to look through it here. Now, Turning Point is a multi-$100-million organization.
Now, sir, I don't know if you were in the room. She provided Erika with proof, and when she did, and she approved that she was telling the truth and not lying, Erika's comeback was that was their mistake. Oh, my bad. A communication, you know, something. That it wasn't a lie, it was a mistake. It wasn't a lie, it was a mistake. So she provided proof. The problem is that there is proof out there that Cash Patel and FBI is not investigating. So there is proof. Y'all just don't want to see it. Y'all playing blind to proof. Let's be clear. There's absolutely proof out there. Okay? Okay. We're not going to play dumb. Because I'm going to call you a dummy. I'm going to call you a dummy. When you play dumb, I'm going to call you a dum-dum. Yeah, so there is absolutely proof. You just want to remain blind. And I call that a fool. Foolishness. Yeah, there is proof. Let's be clear.
To apathy. And I think that's one of the sort of often be attributed to apathy. And I think that's one of the sort of ways oftentimes we can attribute to malice what can often be attributed to apathy. And I think that's one of the sort of ways to look through it here. Now, Turning Point is a multi-$100-million organization. This is an organization that realized that the young people still have a voice. And you know, political change comes a lot slower than social change. So this is an adaptable, aggressive, and pragmatic group of people, and it's quite a big tent. And so I think while it's been a setback socially, it also is important to note that they didn't back away from the discussion. Charlie never backed away from controversy. He never backed away from putting his opinion out there. And if they were wrong about something, they would correct themselves. So it does seem on brand, though, that they have kept the dialogue going. And as Candace hasn't given up, Erika is the CEO and head of that organization, and her word is final on this. So when Erika Kirk goes and does
Charlie
this,
was the
I think it's also
founder of a
catching up
nonprofit
the
organization.
brand to some degree, because you don't
That's a
want
lot of
people who love
tax-free.
Charlie Kirk to feel like the organization he built hates him or them. And so I think the only thing we can have here is more reconciliation, and maybe if there's some proof of what Candace Owens is saying. And I'm not talking about the conspiracy and with some of these Egyptian airplanes and what she said about anti-Semitic things that I fully disavow completely. But if she can, in some ways, prove that maybe there was some internal situation, I think that's maybe the best that can come from it. But certainly it hasn't
She has
helped the
proved
brand,
it. She's proved
but
it
I
to
think
his
it's
wife.
such a traumatic time that nothing at all could have done worse than watching Charlie die on television.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said there, that was Charlie Kirk's brand. He spoke to everyone about everything. And of course, wanted to go to college campuses and debate the difficult topics. But Errol, let's turn to this evening's events that will be happening. It's going to be a star-studded night with President Donald Trump in attendance, J.D. Vance. And you knew Charlie Kirk. What message will they be trying to send out tonight to the world about Charlie himself, about the organization?
I think they're going to try to toe the line with Charlie's deep Christian belief. Charlie always wanted to be remembered above all else for his faith. He was an unapologetic Christian and somebody who put his faith at the center of who he was. And Erika Kirk came out and forgave the alleged killer, Tyler Robinson. I think the killer, but according to the documents, alleged still, Tyler Robinson. So maybe there will be some of that, but Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and a lot of us, we don't have that same kind of unlimited forgiveness that they do. So I would expect this to be a rallying cry to show the American people that they've killed the nice Christian kid who went and talked to the people. So now the question is, do we still keep pushing the free speech message? Let's all talk about it. Not that we're going to be anti-free speech, but do we really care about dialogue anymore when we're giving one side of our dialogue? And just this last week at Brown University, this woman who is the head of the conservative group, young, beautiful woman, was killed, most likely for her political beliefs. And so as this rhetoric ramps up, I think
Most likely, but you don't have no facts of that.
To defense for young conservatives, like, hey, this is not a time to be complacent. This is a time for us to, circle the wagons. Our people are under attack, and we have the momentum now. The youth is coming with us. Gen Z is coming with us. There's no need to back down from this. We're a party of diverse individuals. I'm an immigrant to the United States of America. There's everybody welcome at Turning Point. Turning Point is the most egalitarian and welcoming organization I've ever been in. And just for your viewers to know, as on the inside, it's like 25% just policy nerds and like 80% really normal people. That was the coolest thing about Turning Point. It wasn't a bunch of who he was. And Erika Kirk came out and forgave the alleged killer, Tyler Robinson. I think the killer, but according to helped the brand. But I think it's such a traumatic time that nothing at all could have done worse than watching Charlie die on television.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said
Mrs.
there,
Tom.
that was Charlie Kirk's brand. He spoke to everyone about everything. And of course, wanted to go to college campuses and debate the difficult topics. But Errol, let's turn to this evening's events that will be happening. There's going to be a star-studded night with President Donald Trump in attendance, J.D. Vance. And you knew Charlie Kirk. What message will they be trying to send out tonight to the world about Charlie himself, about the organization?
I think they're going to try to toe the line with Charlie's deep Christian belief. Charlie always wanted to be remembered above all else for his faith. He was an unapologetic Christian and somebody who put his faith at the center of who he was. And Erika Kirk came out and forgave the alleged killer, Tyler Robinson. I think the killer, but according to the documents, alleged still, Tyler Robinson. So maybe there will be some of that, but Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and a lot of us, we don't have that same kind of unlimited forgiveness that they do. So I would expect this to be a rallying cry to show the American people that they've killed the nice Christian kid who went and talked to the people. So now the question is, do we still keep pushing the free speech message? Let's all talk about it. Not that we're anti-free speech, but do we really care about dialogue anymore when we're giving one side of our dialogue? And just this last week at Brown University, this woman who was the head of the conservative group, young, beautiful woman, was killed, most likely for her political beliefs. And so as this ramps up, I think this might be a metaphorical call to defense for young conservatives. Like, hey, this is not a time to be complacent. This is a time for us to, circle the wagons. Our people are under attack. Nice Christian kid who went and talked to the people. So now the question is, do we still keep pushing the free speech message? Let's all talk about it. Not that we're going to be anti-free speech, but do we really care about dialogue anymore when we're giving one side of our dialogue? And just this last week at Brown University, this woman who is the head of the conservative group, young, beautiful woman, was killed, most likely for her political beliefs. And so as this rhetoric ramps up, I think this might be
I don't know if I believe that.
To defense for young conservatives. Like, hey, this is not a time to be complacent. This is a time for us to, circle the wagons. Our people are under attack, and we have the momentum now. The youth is coming with us. Gen Z is coming with us. There's no need to back down from this. We're a party of diverse individuals. I'm an immigrant to the United States of America. There's everybody welcome at Turning Point. Turning Point is the most egalitarian and welcoming organization I've ever been in. And just for your viewers to know, as on the inside, it's like 25% just policy nerds and like 80% really normal people. That was the coolest thing about Turning Point. It wasn't a bunch of far-right individuals. It was just normal people who finally got together and didn't have to share each other's pronouns. I didn't have to say, I'm Errol, he, him. I could just say, hey, I'm Errol. And nobody asked me where I came from or how I was being oppressed or whatnot. And it was just a group of cool people. So that's another thing to point out. It's a bunch of normal, cool people who are going there. And then some guys who are just too young to be into policy, but really are. And that's cool too. And if they come, it's a good time. So I think President Trump being there, all of the, head honchos of the administration being there, that gives the weight, that gives the gravity, that gives the respect that Charlie Kirk definitely deserves on this monumental memorial of the organization he has built that now will transgress what he has done and will become even bigger under Erika Kirk's leadership.
Errol, it's always great to speak to you, and I always love the story that you tell me that Charlie Kirk introduced you to your wife. So that's such a nice thought. And as always, Errol Moore, it's brilliant to have you on the show. Thank you.
I think I got one more before I go. Y'all, double tap the face of your phone. Get the likes up. Double tap just like that. They really are mad that Erika gave her the green light. They really are mad. Yeah, she's still standing on business. Oh, yeah, no, that's the one we've already watched. Hold on, I'm sorry. I can remove it. Oh, yeah, I wanted to try to finish this. With
of JFK, and we were connecting it. I was basically pushing back on you because you were suggesting that you know, all of these people being involved would be crazy. So I was applying the analogy
I said I don't know.
JFK. Well, you actually, if you go back and listen,
said I don't know.
Suggesting that a
I said
conspiracy.
you don't know either. You're floating theories.
When we started
You missed that
talking
word.
about the
You're perfectly
JFK
entitled.
thing,
Listen, let me
no,
make it clear.
Piers, I really think you're not holding on to your thoughts here
Candace, let me-
correctly.
I-
Okay,
well, let me-
I didn't
let me
hear
start
you.
my
What
thoughts very
Erika
clearly.
didn't do.
Let me spell. Hang on, Candace.
She didn't give her the red light.
Crazy to suggest that multiple
Let me
people could
explain
have been
my
involved
thought
in
to you.
different
They
levels.
wanted
I was
Erika
then
to
connecting the
give
dots and saying that in
Okay.
order for
Candace the
JFK
red light to
assassination
stop,
happen,
and
there
in
had to be a
essence,
bunch of
she
people
gave her
that
the
were
green
complicit,
light.
right?
I
And
understand what you're
instead, she
saying.
was
The
going
person
back
who takes the
to what
cameras
she
down.
was doing
Maybe you're the
before.
person
I understand
that
what you're
told him
saying,
to drive
Candace.
that day. Maybe you're LBJ. So they're not all complicit in the murder,
Right.
but they're all at different varying stages involved in the cover-up,
Okay.
right? So that's what a grand conspiracy actually is.
Okay.
And I do believe. So
I
you don't
wonder
have to
how
go
he
back,
gonna
and we don't
feel
have to go
after
through it. I
tonight's
tell you what I think
show.
about Turning Point. You know, I
The
am
main
very
show.
known for being honest about what I believe. I'm not exactly a person that you got to pull teeth on.
Sure.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were
I
any
have
of them
named-
engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up because I've been investigating what happened on that day and what transpired thereafter.
Yeah, the
I've been
planning
clear.
and the
I've named
cover-up
those
is
people
two
on my
different
show.
things.
I've said they are engaged in the cover-up, and I've listed the lies. So you don't have to try to make something out of what I didn't say. I tell you what I think. It's already controversial. We don't need to get more controversial, okay? Do I think someone at Turning Point pulled the trigger? No. Obviously, I don't think someone at Turning
Do you
Point
think
pulled the trigger. We
anybody
don't
at
even know
Turning Point
who did
did
pull the
anybody
trigger.
at
So how could
Turning
I say
Point
that they're...
did anybody at Turning Point, in your opinion, know that Charlie Kirk was going to be murdered?
Yes.
There is specifically 2 people at Turning Point USA, and I have communicated that information to Erika and Justin Strife, that I would not be surprised if they had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
But do you have any evidence
I'm
for
not
that?
going to name... I am not going to name those people, okay, because it's not right for me to name those people until I know for a fact that they did.
Did you give the names Did you give the names to Erika?
Yes.
So
I
you
absolutely did. I
You
said I
gave the names to Erika of 2 employees, current employees at Turning Point, who you believe
Yes.
were involved.
She
in the
did not
preparation of the
stutter.
murder of Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I told them that if I were in your shoes, these would be 2 employees that I would look further into. That's
And what
I
evidence
said.
do you have that they had any prior knowledge of the murder?
She gave them the
Because I
evidence.
don't have concrete evidence is the reason why I'm not naming them. So I've been
So you've got no
responsible. I'm not
evidence,
saying...
but you're telling
She
the
said
widow
concrete.
that these 2 people may have been involved in the murder. But
Yes.
you see the problem?
Well, what the evidence for it is people that there was not concrete evidence. It's like you're trying to get me to say something that I never said and then asking me to defend it.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
asking
saying
what
it.
evidence
Let's
you've
actually
got.
go to, you're asking me privately, did I communicate to them that I think you should look further? That's called an investigation, Piers, okay? So what you're
But what are
doing
you
is a
basing it
strategy
on?
of like, if somebody somebody dies, you're saying to police, you can't ask any questions about anybody unless you have concrete evidence. We're at the stage of investigation.
I'm not saying
yes,
that.
you can.
Well, that's what you saying to her, foolish.
Follow your instinct. If you feel something is off, keep asking questions
No problem.
until you get concrete
No
evidence. And when you
problem at
have concrete evidence, you should name those people.
No
I don't
problem.
have the concrete
But you
evidence.
have named
I
other
find there
people.
inconsistencies.
Okay, but you have named other
I'm trying to
people.
answer. Piers, you can't ask me questions. You can't ask me questions. Let me finish it. I have communicated to them that their inconsistencies make me uncomfortable. I have communicated to them that somebody else who is a third party gave me some information that I am not yet comfortable as I am vetting it, giving it to the public, because that's the responsible thing to do. These are private citizens. And that if I were in their shoes and had more access to information, I would go down that route, okay? Unless I am fully confident that they actually did have something to do, like here is the smoking gun, I'm not going to name those people.
Okay.
But the people I have named thus far are people that I believe are engaged in a cover-up. Like I said, hold me accountable for what I have said.
Well, let's talk about one of those
okay?
people. Let's talk about one of those people
Cool.
because the Turning Point producer, Blake Neff, wrote this in early December. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for the show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. Now,
Oh, she didn't say that. They added to
move
that
then
story.
You said in your podcast that new information was given
To some
you
degree.
in your meeting with Erika Kirk
Y'all
about
double tap
Michael
the face of
McCoy.
y'all phone.
Now,
Get the likes up.
satisfied you.
Double tap the face of your phone and get the likes up. I don't think that y'all understand. I will end this. Double tap the face of your phone. I'm past polite, Miss Tom. I'm finna cuss them out. That's what they like. They like when people talk to them ignorant. Talk to them like Trump be talking to them. Calling them ugly in the face and they mama ugly and they daddy didn't like them and all that type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Leave. I love it. Leave. Get your ass out.
On a video on the 27th of October, you devoted a whole episode to this guy and his supposedly
I never
strange
said I
behavior.
have information that satisfied me about Mikey McCoy.
Well, okay, well, I'll ask you to
That's not a direct
clarify.
quote.
Okay, well, you can clarify
Okay.
that in a moment. But let's hear what you
Yeah.
said about Mikey McCoy before the meeting.
So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't
No,
have time to dial. Okay, you can't
that's
dial.
proof. She showed the proof. She showed him doing exactly what she said that he did.
Now, what was the new information that you got in your meeting with Erika about Mikey McCoy?
So I'm sorry, your gotcha is not going too well, but I never then said, I am now satisfied that Mikey put the phone to his ear. What I presented to the public, it was
No,
what
I
Erika
didn't say
gave to me.
that. Sorry, just to clarify.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, you did say
No,
you
you
have
inferred
information
on your
that's satisfied.
podcast. Well, let me give you the chance to clarify.
Oh, you sound stupid. Mad because Erika didn't read her rights to make her stop. So that they could all come back and say, she asked you to stop. That is his wife and you are refusing to stop.
Some phone calls
Yeah,
about
y'all mad because she didn't do that.
Piers. You inferred on your podcast after the meeting with Erika that you'd received new information about Mikey McCoy, which had changed your mind. Would that be the best way to categorize it? Or
She said that she
No,
told her
I
two
just
people.
presented it. Well, the only thing that I clarified on my podcast, if that's what they're getting wrong, is that some people thought that he was using a nickname that was his middle name, and actually his real name is Michael, like first name Michael, because I was like trying to find something, and I was like,
So
oh, maybe
you
he's
playing
actually using his
games.
middle name.
She said
So
that
that's
she
what I clarified on
gave
my podcast.
Erika two names. She never one time said that one of the two names was Mikey McCoy. She did not. She said she gave two names, Piers, and that she was not going to give are those
But
two
you had
names.
call logs, is
I
that right?
presented.
You were shown call logs? You were shown call logs?
Yes.
They gave me a printout of Mikey's call logs, and I gave it to the public. That's it. I mean, they're saying this, and then the public obviously
So
comes
do
back
you
and says, well,
believe
how do we know
Mikey
that these are...
McCoy had any prior knowledge of Charlie's murder?
I can't say that he had prior knowledge of the murder unless I have something concrete. I can't say anything about prior knowledge. What I can say is what happened on that day. Mikey's behavior is weird on that day. I find it weird, like I said in the podcast yesterday, that what has been communicated to the public is like he called Erika instantly. First thing he did was call Erika instantly. And that's actually the call logs show that he didn't call Erika instantly.
But what are you suggesting
He called
about
his
this
wife
guy?
instantly, and then he had 3
as you
ways.
know, when you got a massive platform,
and then showing his call logs
here's the
showed that
problem.
Blake Neff actually
You have
didn't
a
tell the
massive-
truth about what happened. on that
Yeah.
Here's the problem, Candace. You have a massive...
And guess what, dumbass? They provided her with the call log. He said he called Erika. Then his daddy said he called him. And then we can't come to find out that he called his wife and talked to her for 3 minutes. So what's your point? He lied. And he did not do what he said. He did not render aid, nothing. He briefly turned around and walked off with his ear to the phone without dialing. That's what she said. So your got you moment is got you. You got yourself. You make yourself look stupid. And then these dumbass people be like, oh, Candace, I don't trust Candace. No, it's because you don't want to trust her. Yeah, you want to believe the bullshit. Yeah, because you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. So has Pierce. You think you smart, but you're looking pretty dumb. You're looking pretty occulty. Yeah, you being led.
platform, as you know. Millions and millions of people hang on
Dumbass.
your word. When you devote a large part of an entire episode to the strange behavior of...
Actually, the call logs show that he didn't call Erika instantly.
But what are you suggesting
He called
about
his
this
wife
guy?
instantly, and then he had 3
as you
ways.
know, when you got a
and then
massive
he,
platform,
and then
but
showing
Candace,
his call logs
here's the
showed that
problem.
Blake Neff actually
You have
didn't
a
tell the
massive-
truth about what happened on
but-
that day.
But here's the problem, Candace. You have a massive platform, as you know. Millions and millions of people hang on your every word. When you devote
You hate
a large
that.
part of an entire episode
You hate
to
that
the
she
strange
surpassed
behavior,
you, Pierce Morgan, and they hang on to her every word only because she provides evidence. You run your mouth just to run your mouth. She provides receipts. So correct that. We hang on to the receipts that she provide. And you are mad, 1, because Erika did not put a stop to her, and 2, because she surpassed you. And you've been doing this shit for 40 years. Old ass man. Yeah. You mad. You are mad. Because this 50 shades of brown on the golden end of it all, yeah, she surpassed your ass. Yeah. Let's go.
of Charlie Kirk's
Yeah.
chief of staff, you are putting a target on the guy's back. You're inferring it has something to do with this, or something to do with some cover-up, or whatever it is you're inferring. You know what you're doing when you do that. When you saw Erika Kirk, did you say to her that you believe there's something suspicious about Michael McCoy?
Absolutely.
To explain to you why there isn't, or does she share your view that he is somehow complicit in this?
She
in some
took in
way?
the information.
Well, we actually dedicated more time to speaking about his father, who I think is it's strange to me that that man calls himself a pastor. I communicated fully
Yeah.
that, like that, everything about
So you, while you wanted it to be about
call.
tit, they focused on tat. See how that work out? Yeah, you see how that work out? What I'm gonna call you, princess. Yeah, princess. Yeah, what you thought was the main thing, that wasn't even it. It was the daddy. How about that? That ain't in your notes, is it? That went over your head, didn't it? While he over there employing convicted pedos. Yeah. You stuck on A. They weigh on B and C, Joe dumbass. Let's go.
believe there's something suspicious about Michael McCoy. Was she able to explain to you why there isn't? Or does she share your view that he is somehow complicit in this in some way?
How could she say speak against it when the evidence shows that what she's saying is true. He walked away very quickly. He did not dial. And he did not render aid. That is suspicious. So I'm going to assume she took in the information. She didn't debunk it. You know how I know she didn't debunk it? Because Candace is still talking. She didn't stop her. She said, carry the hell on. Let's go.
Well, we actually dedicated more time to speaking about his father, who I think it's strange to me that that man calls himself a pastor. I communicated fully that everything about that man makes my skin crawl. I think he's a bad person. I think he's involved with bad people.
And that's her opinion.
This is obviously, Mikey's his son. And, I asked a bit about Rob McCoy and Mikey McCoy's relationship. I would just like to be clear. I am not going to be emotionally conditioned to believe that asking questions when we aren't getting any answers is the crime itself. The crime was when Charlie got shot in the neck. So,
you've already said, you've already said though. You told
the easiest way to remove, the easiest way, let me finish. You can't ask me questions, not let me finish.
You're contradicting what you've just said to me.
But you have to.
You said to me earlier,
what did I contradict?
You said you gave 2 names of people.
She didn't name the names.
Organization that you believe are complicit in some way. You gave those names, but you wouldn't name them.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be right to do that. But you did name this guy, Mikey McCoy, who was the chief of staff.
Not
actions are strange.
But she didn't name.
Really, I think you're having trouble holding on to 2 buckets of thought here.
You pulled that out. She didn't say that.
In regards to someone that was complicit in murder, that is a very serious allegation. I gave them names of people that would not surprise me if they did have foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk's
Never
murder.
once.
You are now shifting gears and you're asking me about Mikey McCoy and
right.
why I am raising red flags about his behavior.
You asked about him. She didn't say she did.
I think it's painfully obvious that his behavior was weird. I don't know people that don't duck when a shot comes down.
Complicit?
So I'm pointing. I'm sorry that I have eyes, and I am agreeing with the public that Mikey McCoy's behavior was weird on that day. Okay, these are 2 different things. Now,
yeah, you slid Mikey McCoy in there.
That somebody had something to do with planning this murder. I better be damn sure. And if I said that on my podcast, right? That's all I'm saying. I had never made that claim that Mikey McCoy.
Let's be clear.
Assassination.
Let's be clear, Pierce, Princess Morgan. You brought up Mikey McCoy. She did not. You read off something on a piece of paper that you had. She did not say Mikey McCoy was one of the 2 people. So no, she did not contradict herself. You tried to trip her up. Let's be absolutely clear. I need for y'all to double tap the face of your phone. If you're on your computer, hit the 3 dots at the top right and get the likes up. Y'all see how he tried to manipulate? And then he gonna try to say, no, you just said, no, she did not. That's why you got to listen with your good ear. They will lie and try to make you seem like you said something that you did not say. You said it. You read it on that paper. You picked up the paper and you read off a whole song and dance. Yeah, and you mad because Erika didn't come talk to you. And you want to know with your nosy ass. Yeah. Shine on, baby girl. Shine on. You got him sweating. He mad as hell. You surpassed him. How she do that?
Like a lot of the claims you're making, it's difficult to work out what you're actually claiming. You're throwing a lot of mud in the air, including people's names.
Okay, well then stop grabbing her mud. Stop grabbing her mud. It's just that simple. If you can't catch it, if you can't connect her dots, stop grabbing her mud. You slow. Yeah, you're not listening with your good ears. You're listening to contradict. So that's the difference. You're not listening to collect dots, to connect them as it unfolds. That's the problem. Oh, hell no. Now, James, slow your roll. Maybe later on, but nope. Let's go. I'm not saying
Immediately
that.
then has millions of people chasing after these guys on social media and thinking,
I'm sorry they get caught lying. Like, I'm sorry, what is this? This is like, the public is actually being abused, okay? Let's stop pretending that the victim
Are they, or do
is
you just
Rob
want them
McCoy.
to think they are?
No, the public is being abused because you're basically saying, stop noticing that people at Turning Point USA are lying.
No, I'm
How
not.
dare
No, I'm
Candace
not.
and the public know? Yes, you are.
No.
How dare Candace
But when
and the
there's
public
an
know what you're doing?
emphatic repudiation of what you're saying,
If Mikey lies and Rob McCoy lies and Blake Neff lies, and yes, all of these people have lied on record after the assassination, and the public goes, hey, that's kind of a weird lie. You're like, how dare you put a target on their back by noticing that they're lying? I mean, what weird psychological operation is this?
do you believe?
Don't lie.
Okay, but
Don't lie.
Do you believe Erika Kirk has been lying about it?
No, I have been explicit on my show when people were saying, why aren't you attacking Erika Kirk? I said, because Erika Kirk has not lied. If to the extent that she lies, I will call it out. And that is why I did call out when she lied, okay? When she said Charlie Kirk never received any text messages the night before saying that he was worried about that he was going to get murdered tomorrow. I instantly said, well, here we have it. That's a lie. He definitively did send out text messages to both Dan Flood and Andrew Kolba. And when we met in person, she clarified that, okay, yes, that's real. And we didn't know until you said it because he was using a different app and she was checking his iMessages. So to me, if you lie, you're going to make an enemy of me. Just don't lie. How about that basic requirement to say to people, don't lie about what happened on that day. Don't lie about what you did on that day, because that's the first clue to investigators that that person should be looked at further.
All
Again,
right. Well,
this is common sense.
Okay, let's move to something else Blake Neff said. He said Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team.
Get the lights up, y'all, because we're going to touch bases on that here shortly. Double tap the face of your phone. Hit those three likes at 3 dots at the top right. We're going into that tonight. Double tap. Right after this. Double tap the face of your phone.